Thank you, Margaret. Now, I really am the shortest, so is this about the right alignment? Yeah? Okay. Thank you all for coming. And thank you to Tree. This is such a well-organized and generous reading series. It's really extraordinary. I think you in Ottawa are very fortunate to have Tree. And those of you who work at Tree are doing a wonderful job. To keep it going for, is it 32 years? Is that what you said? 32 years. Now that's really amazing. So, yeah, And thank you to Brick Books for sending all four of us on this extraordinary tour across Canada. I mean, I don't know of any other press that would have sent four poets to read from coast to coast. So it's great. I'm going to read tonight from Blue Sonoma, which Sonoma in this book isn't the county in California where the wine comes from, although that is something that in some way the book alludes to, because the name Sonoma, according to Jack London, who had a ranch there, derives from a Miwok word that means Valley of the Moon. So there is a poem that I'll read called Valley of the Moon. But the Sonoma in question in this book was a GMC pickup truck. GMC had used Sonoma as a brand name. The book bears witness to an irrevocable journey into dementia, which is the witness is shadowboxing with her own emotional and spiritual life as the journey progresses. It begins with an epigraph which is drawn from the invocation to the Isha Upanishad. All this is full. All that is full. From fullness, fullness comes. When fullness is taken from fullness, fullness still remains. Since we've been reading from these books quite a few nights in a row, I've decided tonight that I'm going to do something different. There's not really much point in telling you this because you haven't heard the earlier readings, but I'm going to not. I have been reading sort of a sampling through the whole book, but tonight I'm going to read a few poems from different parts of the book, but I'm going to read the whole set of one section, so you'll get a different kind of taste of Blue Sonoma. But I'll begin with a poem from an earlier section. In a small boat off Port Renfrew, a woman trolling for halibut caught the moon. It was pale and pocked. It lengthened from disc to oval to flat fish as she lifted it. The rod bowed. When the rod's tip touched the water's surface, the moon sprang from the waves, streaming foam, and soared overhead. The woman fell on her back, winded, wordless, rocking as the boat rocked. The moon hung above her, huge and closer than a star. It had grown on a tongue of silt at the river's mouth, dark side down, resting on its mind-reading side, then slid to deep waters. Staring up at it, the woman knew it knew. The sequence of poems that I'm going to read are called Old Man Vacanas. Vacanas are colloquial prayer poems. It's an ancient form that was used in 12th century South India by Indian yogi philosophers. And in Kannada, the language in which the Vacanas were typically written, Vacana means saying or things said. The old man to whom I'm married hits the sack again after breakfast. A black bear out in the rain on Blueberry Flats. Is it too wet to hibernate? The muddy creek burgeoning. By lunch he's up. The sky's no lighter. Candles with our tea. Tell me, can a soul fatten up for winter? The old man who works in the garden grows garlic. He asks what day it is. Hail falls. On every bent leaf, a load of pearls. His calendar melts, its pages slipping into soil. Bulbs wrap their cloven shoulders in scraps of tissue paper. Daffodils, cuffed by squalls, spill scent. Stout garlic defends the yard. None of this matters to him any more than graying hair. A fire on the hearth, lantern by the bed, kitchen candelabra in a draught, finger of light on an arm of the bench, one of the cats watching it beckon. We have met the Lion of March. Today her tongue abraids my back. Outside, excuses pile up, snow like lamb's wool sliding down windows, posts with stockings about their ankles. I tuck my hands into my sleeves. Ravens carry twigs to their nest in a double-headed cedar. We who are paired, even his lips are cold. Thanks to beams and rafters, the house becomes a whale. The miles of intestines facing Jonah. The old man, losing his mind, registers the weather systems of intelligence. Climate change, for all its extinctions, won't alter the planet's orbit. Our laundry tossing, turning the clearing for a morning into a ship. Light billowing through wet sheets. The old man who picks up the phone does not get your message. Call again. Please, call again. The cats leave squirrel guts on the Tibetan rug, augury I cannot read. You've got to talk with me. I scrape glistening coils into a dustpan, spit on drops of blood and spray ammonia. The blood spreads into the white wool. I am so sick of purring beasts. Don't tempt me, old man. Today I have 4 arms and weapons in each hand. If you want to know the way out here, I'll tell you. Drive and drive. The road goes up and down, to and fro. If you want to come visit, I'll invite you. My old man won't know the difference between you and Billy be damned. He's been wearing out old thoughts, holes now in plenty, fewer in his drawers, and he's not keen on new ones. We lay the bricks of conversation, block 1, block 2, small, tidy, start again, solid, reassuring, 4 windowless walls. Roar up the drive, spit gravel, blow your horn. I'm gnawing through myself. Doe on the driveway with this year's fawn and last year's now full grown, eating salmonberry leaves. Carrying the mail, I walk past. The deer go on browsing. My old man likes magazines. He stands at the cutting board leafing through today's haul, turns cartoons in my direction. Rural post box half a mile away, how I keep an eye on the neighborhood. Who's laughing at us today? Fools set in our ways. My old man, oh my old man, oh my old man, is lean as a wooden spoon, stirring batter that folds around it the way at his waist a softness drapes. He sleeps on his back, straight as a broom. He sleeps on his side, curled like a cat. He sleeps with the heater going and a t-shirt on. My old man likes to catch some Z's. Now this old man has ripened sweetly. He gazes at me, bemused and happy. On his way to the sink, he bops the empty coffee pot on my crown. The old man feeding the fire keeps us primitive. Dark falling early. A few sticks in flames snap their fingers. Come, move your stumps. The old man pokes at them. Sparks scatter. Pull up a chair. Have some wine. Be our guest. The old man takes his choppers out when chicken sticks to them. He parks them in a glass of blue fizz. DNA from fossil bones tells us we're siblings to Neanderthals. And the small arrangements we make, language, travel, art, props in a little local theater of light. Although I live in Vancouver now, as you probably could tell from those poems, I lived for the previous 20 years on the southwest coast of Vancouver Island, really in the boonies, a long way out, with forest and wonderful trees. I mean, fabulous trees. I miss the trees. So it's nice to actually be standing in front of a tree banner. This poem is called The House is Dark. We walk toward it with a flashlight. We walk slowly. He has his cane in one hand. The other floats and grabs, reaching for my shoulder as his footing tilts on gravel and ruts. He is looking down, back hunched and neck crooked. I lift the beam. Windows glimmer, porch and door, roof lines. More windows, then higher up, his study, mine, chimneys, home. It's going to be here when he's gone. A sob catches in his throat. He's trembling. Again, with the flashlight, I show him the house. We stand there, silent in the dark, and look at where we've dwelt. A small doll nested in hollow dolls sits on a shelf, in a home, on a street, in a city, on Earth, in a solar system fitted into the Milky Way that rides on the blooming universe. But where is all this? Water knows to be water. A spruce grows into a spruce, in a crevice, buckling down, living on less. Grasping the entire address can't matter. Mountain, topped with a temple whose god has a pleasing countenance, a broken tusk and 4 arms, and is tended by a family under the same roof as their cows. Incomprehensibly, all this is, that is, itself, translated over and over, present at any address. In the slow spin of stars, a dancer turns. He wears a tall hat. His arms stretch, one out, one up. His robes flow. In the slow spin of stars, a woman sings. Her voice floats on her breath. She opens her mouth, and words emerge. In the slow spin of stars, a boat glides. It rides the currents. It is made of glass. It carries the sun. In the slow spin of stars, a yellow dog lies on the pavement, her nose in her groin. She is a bitch, a cur. She has tits and pups. In the slow spin of stars, a tree grows. Its branches curl up and are wrapped by 2 vines. It's a pillar of greenery. In the slow spin of stars, crystals form. All the elemental glyphs, alphabets. And the last poem is Valley of the Moon. On the drive to the Respite Hotel, the Goldberg Variations, A Bridge to Peace. Sora bidding farewell to Basho. Sora leaning forward on his elbow. In the moment of leaving, when words set sail from paper, soul clings to one burning as fire clings to a stick. Even when the mind's a sieve, soul doesn't grieve, cannot believe in scarcity. A mountain, a river, fully this, fully that. Thank you.